Hello, my name is Rossella and today I'm going to do the B paper included in this book published by the ABRSM in 2022. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram and on my website theoryvirtuoso.com where you can see all the videos that I publish. There are music theory videos, musical quizzes, tutorials on discovering music theory or grades, tutorials on sample and past exam papers, piano tutorials and shorts on musical terms. Remember, like and subscribe. Bye! The first section starts as usual with rhythm, and in the first question we are asked to circle the right timetable for the given bars. As usual, I always say look at the bars from above and see what is really visible. In the first bar I see three groups of things, 1, 2 and 3. This is immediately recognizable as a crotchet. This is also another crotchet because we have, remember, they are grouped together. So you can count, you can do the math calculation for this. But I think the best way to go is just to flow as if you would be sight reading. So this is definitely another crotchet. This is a quaver with a little bit and the other half. So that's another crotchet. We can, by the way, exclude 12/8 because 12/8 is a compound time, and the fact that we have a triplet sign means that we are in simple time. Now, how many crotchets do we have? 3 or 4, because this is equivalent to 4 for fourth. We have 2 here and 2 here. Because this is a triplet, it means that it is 3 crotchets in the space of 2. It is irregular, and if you want to double check this, I do the example of you have 3 seats and you fit 2 people, or the other way around. And if you want to know this better, go and watch the chapter, I think, of grade 3 that talks about this, the triplets and the duplets in compound time. All the chapters are available in my playlists, and you can find Discovering Music Theory, grade 2, 3, 4 and 5. Now, how many crotchets? 4, so we are in 4/4. There you go. The next one is clearly a compound time for the reason that I said above. We have 3 quavers together. This is the equivalent of 3 quavers, and we have 2 quavers in the space of 3. We know this because we have a little sign here, a small 2, that tells us that this is an irregular amount of notes. So we have 3 chairs this time, and we make 2 people sit. So, for example, if you go to, a fair and then you sit in the cabin for 3, you sit just with another person very comfortably. And this is the case in which you just paid for your seat, but you have a larger space. So, 3 quavers, and then we have 1, 2, and 3 quavers. So, 3, 6, 9. So here it is, 9/8. This means 9 quavers in a bar. It can be in crotchets because we should have 7 crotchets here, but we can see that the grouping is in quavers, is in group of 3 quavers. So it can be possible. It can be 10 because we need an extra quaver for that, and we don't. It's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. The last one. In this case, we can see that this is a simple time because we have a triplet sign. Remember, in compound time, 3 quavers fit perfectly in the space that we have. But in simple time, we have only 2 seat spaces. So 3 quavers would need to squeeze in. Okay, it's the other way around that I said before. It's the opposite situation. You are walking with other 2 friends, so it's the 3 of us, and somebody with a bicycle comes around and then says, would you like a lift? And the 3 of us would be sitting in a place for 2 people. So you will be squeezing in. So we have one crotchet, another crotchet, 3 in the space of 2, another crotchet, another crotchet, another crotchet, another crotchet. Now I've lost the count. There are many crochets here, so let's have a look. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. 6 crochets in a bar. This is it. Is this simple or compound, by the way? This is compound. 6 is always 3 plus 3. So this is the subdivision. 3 plus 3. It is never 2 plus 2 plus 2. 6 is compound time. It could be 6 crochets. It could be 6 quavers. It could be 9 quavers or 12 quavers. Okay, so I hope this is clear. This brings in lots of confusion. The same thing for 9/4. We could have 9 crochets, 9 quavers, or 9 semiquavers, for example. Okay, this is also allowed in music. I hope this helps. Let's move on to the second exercise. In this second exercise of our exam paper, we need to tick the box that shows the bar that is correctly rewritten in simple time. So this bar has been changed into simple time without changing the rhythm. So let's see the equivalence of each figure. We have 3 quavers, and the only way to present 3 quavers in simple time is by adding a triplet sign, because there's no way you can fit 3 people onto the 2 seats that you have if you don't put this special sign. So if the police stop you, you won't get fined. Similarly, 2 quavers would fit normally into the 2 space that we have in the simple times. So we only need to remove the special sign that we need in compound times. So this would be our bar. And the only one that shows this is this. Because this one has the triplet sign, not right, and this one has even changed the length of the notes, the duration. 2 quavers can become 2 crotchets. And by the way, also the time signature is correct, because we have in this case 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So 2 groups of things, 1 and 2 and this becomes 1 and 2 and. So we do 1, 2, 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and. Okay, there is a TikTok video about this equivalence. I'll link it below. So this is the right answer, and we can move on to exercise 3. In this exercise, we need to complete the 2 sentences by adding a number. 6/16 means 6 semiquavers. As I said, you can put down here any value. It could be crotchets, quavers, semiquavers, demisemiquavers, even if the last one is very rare. Not minims. We never find 6 minims in a bar. It's a little bit too long. It's for practical reasons, but still, ideally, it could be possible. However, how do you play it? It will be like, every bar will be like 2 lines of things. So not possible. So 6 semiquavers grouped in 2. Well, 2 groups of 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Each group is a dotted quaver. Okay, so how many do we have? 2. Because 6 is always 1 and 2 and. Okay, so 1 and 2 and. In this case, the whole group is a dotted quaver. So we have 2 dotted quavers in a bar. 3 halves means 3 minims. Okay, so this figure means, okay, forget about the dot and everything. This is the skeleton of what happens here. And these 3 with a triplet sign on the top means 2 in the space of 3. Remember what we said above. 2 crotchets equals 1 minim. So how many minim beats? 1. Okay, so I repeat, they are, let me put a triplet sign here, they are equivalent to 3 crotchets. 3 crotchets with a triplet sign means 2 in the space of 3, so they are equivalent to 2 crotchets, and 2 crotchets are a minim. So there you go. I hope this was useful. Let's go on to the other page. In this question, we need to tick the box that shows the only bar grouped correctly. Now, grouping is important, as I always say in my videos. It helps the sight read. It gives the conductor how to conduct. And it helps us feel in the music in the right way. Every bar has a downbeat, and that has a stronger accent. Accents are very important. We use them continually when we talk. For example, if I say example, the accent is on the A. So example. I don't say example, or I don't say example on the last syllable. So it is very important, because in some cases the accent actually changes the meaning of a term. Record and record. There you go. To record and the record. Off the records, blah, blah, blah. To record a piece of music. So in this case, the accent is everything. And in case of record, chord would be here at the start of the bar. In case of record, re would be at the start of the bar. I'm losing pieces of my pen. I'm so sorry. This pen is really, really old. So it is very important where we put the accent in this case, and music is all like that. Now imagine that I've given you an example in English, but music is always like that. So depending on where you put the accent, you put the meaning of a melody. And so the orchestra will follow your clue, and it will be all wrong or all right. So keep that in mind, okay? And if you think of other words in English that could be different in the meaning, depending on where the accent is, please comment it below. Okay, so the clue here is 9/8, which is the time signature. Now, 9/8 is basically, I put it up here probably, 9 quavers grouped in 3. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3. Okay, we should have 3 groups of things. If we don't, the grouping is incorrect, and so the conductor will be lost, and so all the orchestral players. Also, our sight reading will struggle because we don't really recognize what's going on. For example, here, what is going on? We have 1 crotchet alone, so there is a 3rd quaver here missing, which is this one. So this is already incorrect. And look at here. How do I play? I'm so confused to see this. So confused. 1, 2, and 3. And then we have half of the other one. It can be possible. Here it's missing. The other half is missing. The second part of the 3rd quaver, it's attached to the other one. This is grouped in simple time, but look, there are odd numbers here and here. They can't be 3 semiquavers, 3 semiquavers. Impossible. So the only possible answer is this, because we have 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2 and 3. All right? Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Exercise 5. For those who don't know me yet, you can find me on Facebook, Instagram and TikTok. You should also know that I love replying to your comments, and I love when people tell me what they do in life with their music studies, what they are practicing, what they find difficult, easy, what they like of my videos. So please do get in touch. I love it. On TikTok, I'm also publishing useful videos about music theory, scales and piano pieces from the new syllabus by ABRSM. Check that out too. On Instagram, you can find the next video that I will be publishing, so you will be up to date with what I am preparing for you. In our final exercise of this first section, we need to tick the box or cross it to show whether the rests have been added correctly or not. The time signature, first of all, this is our main source for identifying the right and the wrong answers, because it tells us how to count and what to count to. Is 3/4, which means 3 crotchets in a bar. And we need to see 1, 2 and 3. So 1, 2 and 3. Okay, we can merge these two together, but we can't do this, okay, with quavers, but we'll see when it happens. 1, 2 and not really, no. The best way to go first, okay, so although mathematically this is correct, musically this is incorrect. We would put first of all the longer rest first and then the shorter ones afterwards, but in this case this can be replaced with a dot, and that saves ink, or used to save ink, and so this will be the right answer. So this is incorrect. Okay, the next one, the next example is a crotchet with 2 dots, which means a crotchet plus a quaver plus its half, a semiquaver, followed by another semiquaver. Perfect. Then we have 3 semiquavers and the final semiquaver of this crotchet here. So this is all correct. Perfect. So 1 semiquaver belonged to this first part. Okay, this whole thing is a minim. And then the final crotchet is made up of 4 semiquavers, of which the first is a rest. Perfect. Great. Next one. Okay, so this is interesting because this is also one of the things that people confuse very easily. We have a rest and we have a quaver and a dotted crotchet rest. Although mathematically this is correct, again musically this is incorrect because we can't merge them all together. Although I say it here, but as a whole, not in this way. This is very confusing and doesn't allow us to count properly the middle movement. So we should have a rest and then a minim. Now compare this with this. In this case, we can have the shorter rest because this belongs to another movement, another count. Okay, they are 2 separate countings. In this case, it can be because it's 1 count. The whole thing is 1 count. So they have to be the longer first and the shorter afterwards. I hope this is all clear. Let me know if I missed something, or if you still have doubts, comment below, as I said. Let's turn the page. Our second section relates to pitch. And in the first 2 questions, we are asked to tick the box that shows here the right name of the note, and here the right enharmonic equivalent. So, one at a time. This is the alto clef, and the alto clef is treble clef plus 1. If you want to know why this is the case, go and watch my videos linked in the description below or via the card up here. There are 4 videos all you need to know about clefs, and they really tell you everything and explain loads of things about clefs. All the viewers told me that these videos are very helpful, so please consider watching them. They are very lightly presented, so you can just relax and watch them. So, treble clef plus 1. In the treble clef, this would be called middle C. Plus 1 is D, so the answer is D. Alternatively, you can count from middle C, which is here. You can do Do, Si, La, Sol, Fa, Mi, Re. So this is D, okay? In the second exercise, we need to tick the box. This shows the correct enharmonic equivalent. Now, the enharmonic equivalent is the sound, the note that has the same sound of another one, but another name. And we must use accidentals for that. And I will write the keyboard here. So this is G sharp, G double sharp, okay? So I think I need this. Okay. G sharp, double sharp. This note here could be an A or B double flat. Which one do we have? B double flat. So this is the right answer. Okay, so one more time. G double sharp is sharp, sharp. This is A or B flat, flat. Here it is. Sorted. Number 3. Have you subscribed to my channel, by the way? If you subscribe and be notified when I publish a new video, you will really be the first one to watch them, and you can also answer many of my questions. For example, I ask my viewers to suggest me what video to do next, and you could be the one to choose it. So don't miss the opportunity. Just hit the button there and subscribe to my channel. It is free. In this third exercise, we need to identify which item is correct or incorrect. And each item would be what the content of this bar, including the key signature, rewritten a minor third up. So we need to go. Basically, minor third is 3 semitones up. This piece, well, this bar, is in F major. 1 flat is F major or D minor. In this case, it doesn't really matter because they share the same, the minor and relative major share the same key signature, so it is irrelevant. We go for the major because it is easier then to transpose. Now, I'll do my keyboard here. Maybe it's too long. Sorry, guys. I'll be quick. Okay. F major plus 3 semitones, 1, 2, and 3, becomes A flat major. A flat major has 4 flats. So this is correct. First thing, we're happy with that. La, 1, 2, 3 becomes Do. Perfect. Fa, 1, 2, 3 becomes, same as here, A flat. This is incorrect. Do sharp, 1, 2, and 3 becomes E. So this is incorrect. No E sharp. And Re, 1, 2, 3 becomes Fa, F. So that is correct. This time it was not the case, but I didn't name any of these notes flat. However, there are cases in which you will need to check the flats. I did check the flats. Only this note was flat, but in this case was sharp. It was incorrect. The right answer here, it would have been Mi natural. Why natural? Because here is flat. The right answer here would have been La. But it is incorrect. Well, A flat, basically. Yeah, but it's incorrect because it's another note. Are you happy? I hope so. Let's move on to the next one. And don't forget, ask me anything you need. Our next exercise asks us to compare the 3 bars and answer the questions to true or false. To answer this, it is very useful to keep in mind my memorime that you can learn by watching the videos that I mentioned above about the clefs. If the pitch you want to know, middle C, are you above or below? In the bass clef, middle C is this. In the alto clef, middle C is here. So we can already notice that this piece, this bar, has been written an octave higher than this because this note is this one here. In the treble clef, oh my God, middle C is down here. So this means that this note is 2 octaves higher than this and 1 octave higher than this one here. I basically answered already the questions, but let's read them aloud. A and B are at the same pitch. No, I've already said that one is an octave higher. This is an octave higher than this. A is 1 octave lower than C. That's wrong because this is 2 octaves higher than this. So false. B is 1 octave lower than C. And this is correct because this note would be here, and so 1 octave lower than this very high C here. So that's the only true answer. And with this, we have finished our 4th question. I hope I'm not going too fast. Please let me know if not. Section 3, keys and scales. The 3rd section is very important because it gives you 15 points overall. It is also important because lots of questions are long to answer, and so it takes a lot during the exam. Make sure that you do that thoroughly, and I assure you that if you follow my steps, they are as short as possible and they enable you to answer the questions quickly and safely. So you need to know a few pieces of knowledge to answer these questions, and I'm sure you know them. If not, listen carefully to what I say. In these first 2 questions, we need to tick the box to show the only key signature correctly written of the following keys: B major and E flat minor. Let's have a look. B major has sharps, and it has 5 sharps, and I know this because I've been doing this for many years, but this is the way for you to know it. The order of sharps and flats is Fa, Do, Sol, Re, La, Mi, Si. If you don't know what I'm talking about, please watch my videos linked in the description below or via the card up here. They tell you loads of useful things about key signatures and keys and therefore scales. Now, B major, B, the semitone before is A. So in B major we have 5 sharps. Now in the 4 clefs that we have, the sharps are written in 2 different ways. One is 3 curves, of which the second one is longer, and it is the case for treble, alto and bass clef. And the tenor clef, there is a zigzagging series of curves. Now here we do have this shape, but look here, two sharps are the same. Fa, Do, Sol, Re. This is incorrect. So, goodbye. Then, this one here misses this shorter curve, so this is also incorrect. Let's just strike them through. This one here could be correct, look. And this one here is incorrect because it misses the longer curve. So the only possible answer is this. There you go. We haven't even checked the notes. Perfect. Let's move on to the second one, E flat minor. We need to go to the major key to answer, to know how many flats we have. It is very likely that we have 6 flats because all of them have 6 flats. So we already know it. But by the way, the order of flats is big elephants, 8 dinosaurs, goat, cheese, and figs. Oh, sorry. Big elephants, 8 dinosaurs. I forgot one. I knew I had to say it with the names of the notes. Dinosaurs, goat, cheese, and figs. Si, mi, la, re, sol, do, fa. Perfect. Okay. So E flat is the relative minor of 3 semitones above G flat, and this is the penultimate flat. So we have 6 flats. There you go. Now, the shape of the flats is unequivocally this. Okay, so where do we have this shape? We have it here, we don't have it here, we don't have it here. Look, the pattern is broken, and we don't have it here. So the only possible answer is this. Excellent. Now, we could have skipped this, so this answer could have been much quicker, but I wanted to do this again because we're going to use it here in the other exercises basically, so I hope it was useful. Let's move on to exercise 3. This exercise is a little bit long to process, but I have the quickest way is the way I do it, so follow my steps very carefully. First of all, we need to identify whether we have, in the key signature, we have sharps or flats. Oh, by the way, in this exercise, we need to circle the only correct key of the given pieces. So in this case, we obviously have flats, and the order of flats is si, mi, la, re, sol, do, fa. Again, watch the videos linked below if you don't know what I'm talking about. I don't use the circle of fifths, and I will never use them. You can if you want. And then let's have a look. We have la flat, treble clef, so la flat. There you go. Sol flat, interesting. Mi flat, re flat, mi flat, a flat. Now, if we have these 4 flats, we must have B flat because they are in order. That's it. Why don't we have it here? Because there are no B's in the melody. So this is presumably the last flat in our key signature. So the penultimate D is our chord, D flat major. There you go. Here it is. In A flat major, we would have only 4 flats, so not G flat. In F minor, it is the relative minor of A flat major, so same thing, plus we would have E natural because the leading note would have been raised. In E flat major, we would have another flat, Do flat, and in this case, it isn't flat. Okay. Remember that YouTube allows you to pause the video and think. And if you need, go back and re-listen to this one more time. I move on from now. In this case, we have sharps. Okay, so order of sharps. Fa, do, sol, re, la, mi, and si. Perfect. We have re sharp and fa sharp. Ah, okay, this is very interesting. In this case, we don't have these sharps because obviously we have G here and we have Do here. There are no sharp. But when we have a gap between them, it means that this is the leading note and this is the only sharp in the key signature. So this F sharp is the only sharp, and we could be in G major or E minor. The leading note of E minor is D sharp, and so it has been raised. So the answer here is E minor. We can't be in G major because we have the leading note of E minor. I'm going to circle it so we know. Of E minor. We can't be in A minor because the leading note of A minor is G, and G is not sharpened. And we have two other sharps. So in E major, we would have 4 sharps. So Do and Sol sharp as well. So there you go. Easy? Is it clear? May I go on? All right. The last example is with flats. So I'm just going to clear this up. We have, it's in bass clef, important, because if we read the notes incorrectly, we will mess up the answer, or we wouldn't be able to find the answer. So this is Re, this is treble clef plus 2, by the way. So this is Re flat, okay, and Mi flat, okay, and La flat, okay. So in this case, we must have again B flat. When we have 4 flats, we usually are in A flat major. But in this case, look at here, E natural, E flat. So this is the leading note of F minor. And I'll tell you why. Because in this case, we are on the way up, and as per the melodic scale, to 4 melodies, when we are on the way up, the leading note is the 7th degree is raised, and on the way down it isn't anymore. So this is why it's raised on the way up and flattened again on the way down. So the answer here is F minor. It could have been misleading because with E flat, with both these two with flat, we would have had A flat major, but not this time. I hope this is useful. Let's move on to the 4th exercise of this 3rd section. We need to tick one box that shows the right note that completes the scale of F sharp melodic minor ascending. And we have 2 notes missing. So F sharp minor melodic ascending has the 6th and the 7th degrees raised. Now, first of all, the number of sharps. F sharp minor is the relative minor of A major. A major. A plus minus 1 semitone is G sharp. So G is the final sharp in our key signature. So Fa, Do, Sol. We have 3 sharps here. Fa sharp, So sharp, La, Si, Do sharp. Okay. Now we have Re, so D and E. Okay. In this case, D, is it sharp? No, but because it is the ascending melodic scale, we must raise it. Similarly, E would not be sharp normally on the way down, for instance, but in this case it would be, so E sharp. Sorted. So again, these notes D and E of the scales are not included in the key signature, so they shouldn't be sharp, but because it is a melodic minor scale ascending, we must raise them up on the way up. Okay? Brilliant. I hope it was useful. Let's turn the page. This exercise number 5 asks us to circle the only clef that would make these 3 scales minor scales. So this is a little bit laborious, as I always say, but follow my steps and they will make you answer this question correctly and as quickly as possible. So let's go through them. We have, we need basically to try clef by clef. So in treble clef, this would be B sharp, okay. B sharp minor doesn't exist because it would be the minor of a scale of D sharp major that doesn't exist, because this scale exists as E flat, as the enharmonic equivalent. So no. In the bass clef, this would be D sharp minor, and D sharp minor could exist because we have F sharp major as a major key. Let's write the order of sharps and flats. Fun coloring gigantic drawings after eating breakfast, and then big elephants ate dinosaurs, goat, cheese and figs. Perfect. F sharp minus one semitone would be E, and E is the final sharp in our key signature. So we would have 6 sharps in our key signature. We have D sharp, okay, Mi sharp, yes, Fa, not sharp. That's impossible, because D sharp is the relative minor of F sharp major, and F sharp must be sharp. So it's impossible here as well. The next option is the alto clef. Alto clef is a treble clef plus 1. So B sharp plus 1 is C sharp. Okay, C sharp is the relative minor of E major, and E major has 4 sharps. Now, C sharp, yes. D sharp, yes. Mi, okay, no sharp. Fa sharp, So sharp, yeah. La, yes, no sharp. B sharp and Do sharp again. Now B is sharp because, do you notice here, this is a semitone and this is an augmented second. This happens in the harmonic scales. So only the 7th degree has been raised. So I think that the answer is the alto clef, but let's check with the tenor clef. In the tenor clef, this note would be A sharp. A sharp minor is the relative minor of C sharp major and has all these flats, including this. So basically is A, B, C. C sharp is again the relative major, the note of the relative major that is not sharp. It's impossible. So the only possible answer is the alto clef. The second example starts as per treble clef in B sharp, and again B sharp doesn't exist because it's the relative minor of a D sharp major that doesn't exist. So goodbye. In the bass clef, this note would be D sharp. Let's have a look. Now D sharp can exist, as we said before, is the relative minor of F sharp major. And F sharp major has 6 sharps, and we do have lots of sharps here. So Re sharp, Do double sharp, let's come back to this. Anyway, Do is sharp, B, okay, no sharp. Then we have La sharp, A sharp, yes. So sharp, yes. Fa sharp, yes. E sharp, there you go. And D sharp, yes. Okay, so the only note that doesn't belong to the key signature is Do double sharp. And when does that happen? This happens when we have the 7th degree raised because there is a harmonic scale. So there you go. This is the harmonic scale descending of D sharp minor. So the answer is the bass clef. Let's double check. In the alto clef, this would be Do sharp. So same as before. And in the tenor clef, this would be A sharp minor, which means, so C sharp is the relative minor of E major, and there are too many sharps in here because E major has just 4 sharps. And then in the tenor clef, this would be A sharp, relative minor of C sharp major. And in C sharp major, we would have Fa sharp. Definitely, this is Fa is not sharp, so it's not possible. Okay, next one. We have flats this time. Okay, so in the treble clef, this would be Do. C minor is the relative minor of E flat, and E flat has 3 flats. Yes, so it could be possible. So let's have a look. Do, C flat, so Do, B flat, yes, it is in the key signature. A flat, yes, it is in the key signature. And then we have Sol, Fa, Mi flat, yes, Re and Do. So I think this is correct. This is the melodic descending minor scale or natural scale. Let's have a look though at the other ones. Let's just double check if the other options are surely incorrect or impossible. In the bass clef, this will be Mi, and E minor is the relative minor of G major with sharps, impossible. We have flats here, so no. In the alto clef, this will be D, and D minor is the relative minor of F major that has just 1 flat, and this one has 3, so impossible. In the tenor clef, this would be B, and B minor is the relative minor of D major that has 2 sharps and definitely no flats. So I think the only answer is the treble clef, and this is a C minor scale. Okay. Sorted. Now this could seem a little bit off-putting or complicated, but if you follow my steps and if you do it like with loads of patience, you'll be fine. Next question. You might have noticed that I started a membership program, and if you join the club, you will be enjoying loads of new videos, especially made for gold members. They include the 4 tutorials on all the scales and arpeggi included in all the graded exams, ABRSM exams. So they might be useful for you. Online for free, you can find a reduced version of the tutorial, but if you want the full one, you need to unblock it by becoming a member. Remember that you can cancel your membership anytime, so it could be useful as you're preparing your exam, and then if you don't find it useful anymore, you can cancel it anytime. It's not pricey, and it allows you also to have your comments prioritized and much more. In this exercise, we need to circle true or false depending on whether these 2 chromatic scales have been correctly or incorrectly written. And to answer this question, we need to write a keyboard. It is very long. Okay, tenor clef, don't panic, is treble clef -1. The first note is Do flat, so B flat. Okay, B flat, A flat, Sol, So flat, Fa, Mi flat, Re flat, Do, C, so B, and B flat. I think this is correct, honestly. So let's try again. B flat, La flat, Sol, So flat, Fa, Mi flat, Re flat, Do, B flat. Yes, correct. Next one. Treble clef. Ah, relaxing for some. Fa sharp, sol, so sharp, la, la sharp, la double sharp, B sharp. That's already incorrect, by the way. It's irrelevant to go on. We can't have three notes of the same name, so this is incorrect. This one should be called B, or this one should be called, this one should be called B flat, whatever. So it is incorrect. So I don't even waste my time going on. It is already incorrect. Perfect. Last question of this long section. Okay, we need to answer true or false for each of the three statements. So D sharp, okay, is the relative Re sharp is the median of F sharp major. I said so because D sharp minor is the relative minor of F sharp. Anyway, is the median, so the third degree of F sharp. I can't see that is possible at all because it's Fa sharp, So sharp, La sharp. So I don't think we're going down here. For the scale, we need to go up. So this is false. This Do sharp is the leading note of D minor. Yes, the leading note is a semitone below. So yes. And Mi is the subdominant, so the fourth degree of B flat major. Si, Do, Re, Mi. Yes, it is an E, but it has to be flat because B flat major has two flats, Si and Mi. So this is flat, and it's not flat here, so it's false. Perfect. Sorted. Let's move on to section 4 relating to intervals. Okay, in the first exercise, we need to take the box that shows the correct name for each of the three intervals. All right, first the names of the notes. We have Sol and we have Fa. This is seventh, of course. Now, for the seventh and sixth, I use a different system for intervals, and if you watch other videos of this, you will notice it. You can also watch the chapter relating to intervals from grade 4 and grade 5 of Discovering Music Theory. You can also watch all the other tutorials dedicated to grade 5. So I flip over these notes and I find a second. Now, Fa and Sol, I need the keyboard anyway. Okay, Fa and Sol is a second, a major second, but if I flip over the interval, it becomes A minor seventh, and this is the answer. Let me repeat this one more time. I flip over the interval, one of the notes, and then I find that the seventh becomes a second. If the second is major, the seventh is minor, and vice versa. If it's augmented, it becomes diminished. In this case, Fa and Sol is a major second, two semitones, one tone. So when I flip it over, it becomes a minor seventh. Okay, let me know if this is clear. Let's move on now. Do sharp and Sol. Okay, this is a compound interval, and I say this because the two notes are more than an octave apart. So first I identify the simple interval, and then I put compound up beforehand. So I either put it the second note down of an octave, or I raise this up. I don't know, I'll do this, but just because, I don't know. It is honestly the same. Do sharp Sol. First of all, the number of the interval. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. It's 5 notes. You can also count them here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I made a video about this on TikTok. I link it below. It is useful for you to watch it because, yeah, I know you are on TikTok, so follow me there too. So it's a fifth, okay? it is a fifth. A perfect fifth is 3 tones and a half away. So let's count from Do sharp to Sol. 1, 2, and 3. So one more time. 1, 2, and 3. It is not 3.5. So the fifth is not perfect, but it's diminished. So it is a compound diminished fifth. That's the answer. The last example is La and Do sharp. Don't forget this, otherwise your interval will be identified wrongly. La and Do sharp is a third. All of the examples say there is a third, so we can't be wrong on that. A third is a major third is 2 tones. So let's have a look. 1 and 2. Easy. Major third. Okay. Again, 1 and 2. 2 tones. Are you happy? I hope so. Let's move on to the second exercise. In this second exercise, we need to circle the correct type of interval. But to identify the type, we need to identify the interval, so we need to do the whole thing again. Okay. Sol and Re. It is a fifth, but it's more than an octave apart, so it's compound. Never mind, because to identify the type of the interval, we don't need to state whether it's compound or not. So let's assume there is a simple interval. Okay, it's a fifth because it's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. A perfect fifth is 3 tones and a half. So let's have a look. 1, 2, 3 and a half. Perfect. So it is perfect. There you go. Next one, bass clef, flats. E flat, that's Mi flat and La. Okay, Mi flat and La is a fourth. 1, 2, 3 and 4. Okay, 1, 2, 3 and 4. A perfect fourth is 2 tones and a half away. So 1, 2 and a half and another half. So it is not perfect, but it has one more semitone, which means there is augmented. So again, 1, 2 and a half and another half. So it's not perfect, but it's augmented. There you go. The last example is Do sharp and La. Again, this is a compound interval. It doesn't really matter. Let's raise up now a note. Do sharp, put it here. We count, it is a sixth. So not better to put this down actually. Because I need to flip it over, and I'm flipping over this time. So it is a 6. I flip it over because I can't be bothered to count the intervals. If you want to count them, it's 4.5. In this case, what I will do is I flip over the interval and I put Do sharp on the top. Now we have La, Do sharp, okay, A, C sharp. If it is a major third, the 6th will be minor. So let's count. 1 and 2. Yes, it is a major third. So this is a major third. If flipped over, it becomes a minor 6th. There you go. If you need to watch this again, there is an entire chapter from Discovery Music 4 and Discovery Music 5 on which I made tutorials, and you can find them in my playlist, Discovery Music Theory Grade 5 and 4. go and watch them or watch all the videos from the other exam papers, grade 5. Let me know how it goes. For the moment, we move on to the final question relating to intervals. In this third exercise, we need to write the notes to form the named intervals. And again, we need a keyboard. I put it down in the middle of this here. B sharp. A minor second would be, okay, B sharp is here, a semitone above, so Do sharp. This can be called D flat because we need this to be a second. So B, C, okay? It can be B, D, otherwise it's a third, another type of third. So B sharp, a semitone above is Do sharp. Sorted. Fa sharp, a perfect fourth would be 2 tones and a half away. So Fa sharp, okay, let's count. 1, 2 and a half. And I think this is B, okay, because 1, 2, 3 and 4. Okay, Fa sharp, 1, 2 and a half. 2 and a half. You happy? Next one. A major ninth is 9 minus 7 is a compound major second. Okay, why 9 minus 7? You need to do 7. Oh, 2 plus 7 equals 9. So major ninth equals a compound major second. So we do a major second here and then we raise it up of an octave. Fa sharp, this is the trick here. Fa sharp, this is sharp. If you don't call it sharp, you will find the interval as sol here, but it's wrong because it's a minor ninth. It will make it a minor ninth. So Fa sharp is so sharp. And then we raise it up of an octave and then we find so sharp here. Okay, this was a trick. Did you fall into the trap? Tell me in the comments below. Meanwhile, the very last exercise is a diminished seventh they ask us to do, which is equal to an augmented second. Flipped over. So this is D, okay, this is Re in bass clef. An augmented second down I need to find, okay? So from Re, a major second is 2 semitones, so 1, 1, so that would be Do. But to make it augmented, I need to enlarge the interval, okay? So 1, 1, and then another half of a semitone. So that will be Do flat, okay? Because I need to do Re Do, that's a second, okay? So I can do this. So I have to call this note Do. And to name this sound here, I need to do Do flat. I need to add the flat. Now if I flip it over, that would be a diminished seventh because the augmented second becomes a diminished seventh if flipped over again. Are you happy? Can you let me know in the comments below? Don't forget to like this video, by the way, and tell your friends about it. Now, let's turn the page. This fifth section is dedicated to chords, and we have 3 exercises in which we need to do each time an additional step. In the first exercise, we need to identify the chords to find 2 cadences. Now, it is important that the 2 cadences can be made just by these chords. So 1, 2, 4 or 5. If you find another one, you're wrong. Something is wrong. It means that you haven't identified the passage notes. We should be in D major, and I say this because we have two sharps, so the final sharp is C plus 1 semitone is D, and we finish with D. This is a chord of D major, so I think we are in D major. Okay, we have some notes here, of which I think one is a passage note. Let's have a look. We have Sol, we have Si, and we have Re. Then we have this Do that is clearly a passage note because we need to form a chord like this. On, off, on, off, on. And if we put Do, that will be this chord. It doesn't make sense. Okay, so we can only have Sol, Si, Re. A Sol is the bottom note. There is Re, Mi, Fa, Sol. It's a fourth away from the tonic, so it's a fourth degree. Then we have Fa sharp and La. Now, if we don't know what chord this is, it could be 4/5 or it could be 4/1. Now, let's assume that we don't go via the cadences, but we go via the chords. So let's identify the chord. Let's try to put a note above. That would be C. What chord is that? We don't know. So we need to do like Fa sharp, Sol, La, Si, Do, okay? The two notes off must be in between. This is not a chord, so this note is incorrect. We are omitting an incorrect note. Let's try to put another note here. La, Sol, Fa, Mi, Re. Ah, this is a D major chord. And D major is also the tonic. So it is possible to have 4/1 as the plagal cadence. And I'm going to write it here because we need it afterwards anyway. Okay. A plagal cadence. Let's go on to the next example. We have many notes here, but let's go from the lower one. B, okay, and we have the same notes here, and then we have E. In order, they would be Mi, Fa, Sol, La, Si. Okay, so the chord is Mi, E minor chord, and E is the second degree of D major. Next bar, we have Mi, Do sharp, okay, La, Do sharp again, and B. Okay, now B, I don't think that B can be included because otherwise we don't have this shape of the chord. Let's put them in order. We have La, Si, Do, Re, Mi, okay? If we put B here, La, Si, Do, Re, Mi, the chord is shaped like this, okay? Just only this is the off note, this number 4, but we need this to be off as well. So it doesn't make sense. This is a passage note and this is a passage note. The chord is La, Do sharp, Mi. That is an A major chord. And for D major, Re, Mi, Fa, Sol, La, La is the 5th degree. So 2/5, it could be just one thing here, 1. I hope you're happy. Let's move on to the second exercise. In this one, we need to identify the cadence, and to identify the cadence, we need to identify the chords. So we do what we've done before, plus we say the name of the cadence. Oh, I didn't say that the previous cadence is the perfect cadence. So anyway, we are in C major. So this time they tell us the key, very handy, thank you very much. Let's identify the notes. Do, Sol, Do, and Mi. Okay, Do is repeated, so we rub it out, we cross it out. Let's put them in order. Do, Re, Mi, Fa, Sol. Remember, one on, one off. do, re, mi, fa, sol. The lower note is do, so this is the tonic of the chord, well, the bottom note of the chord, the main note of the chord, and this is also the tonic, so this is number 1. Perfect. I expect this to be 5 because that would make this cadence imperfect, but still we need to check. So let's do that again. We have sol, sol, si, and re. In order, they will be sol, si, re. Sol, la, si, do, re. Sol is the bottom note and is also the 5th degree of C major. So this is definitely 1-5, which is an imperfect cadence. Great. How do you feel about it? Is it better? How is this system compared to yours? Let me know. Write it in the comments below. Lastly, we are in G major and we have the 2 final chords. So let's identify the notes. Re, Fa sharp, Re, and La. Okay. Re is repeated, so we have Re, Mi, Fa, Sol, La. Perfect. This is in order, and D is the bottom note of the chord and is also the 5th degree of G. Sol, La, Si, Do, Re, 5th degree. The final chord is Sol, Sol, Si, and Sol. Okay, we have 2 sols, so we can cross them out. Okay, and then we have Sol, Si, and of course this is G major, Re. You can try to put E here, okay, and the chord will be like Mi, Sol, Si. It would be an interrupted cadence, but it is not included in our syllabus, so ignore this. You need to recognize only the chords that you know, not the ones that you don't know. The bottom note here is G and is also the tonic, which will make this cadence perfect. 5-1. I hope it is clear. Let's move on to the final question relating to chords. Remember to like this video, tell your friends about it, subscribe to my channel, follow me on Instagram, Facebook and TikTok. I love hearing from you. Comment, write me an email, all the things are in the description below. Thank you. Now, in this exercise we need to identify the chords and find the inversion in which they are written. So a step above what we've done before. We are in E minor. Perfect. Thank you very much. The notes are La, Do, Mi, and Do. Do is repeated. La, Si, Do, Re, Mi. They are in order. La is the bottom note of our chord. And for E minor, let's count. Mi, Fa, Sol, La is the 4th degree. Now this is already in order, so La, do we have, sorry, I need to write it here. I'll write it here. Now, do we have at the bottom, do we have La, do we have Do, or do we have Mi? The answer is La, so it's 4A, also called 4. In this case, the option says 4A. Next chord, we have Si, Si, Mi, and Sol. Si is repeated. Let's put them in order. Mi, Fa, Sol, La, Si. Okay. Mi is the bottom note, is the tonic. So this chord is 1. Sorry, I'm a bit untidy today. I'm so sorry. 4. And what is at the bottom of our chord? Do we have Mi? Do we have Sol? Or do we have B? The answer is B, so it's 1C. And this is it. Finally, we have Re sharp, Si, Si and Fa sharp. Si is repeated in order they will be Si, Do, Re, Mi, Fa. There you go. So Si, Do, Re, Mi, Fa. Remember, one on, one off. B is the bottom note of our chord, and for E minor is the fifth. Mi, Fa, Sol, La, Si. So it's the fifth degree. And at the bottom of our chord, do we have, sorry, of our chord here, this one, do we have B? Do we have D sharp or do we have Fa sharp? We have D sharp. So it's 5B. Here it is. Sorted. All done. I hope this was useful. Let me know if not. I know that this page with the chords could be a little bit tricky, but follow these steps and let me know how it goes. I hope your answers were as mine. Let's turn the page. This section relates to terms, science and instruments. And in the first question, we need to tick the box that shows the correct translation for the musical terms. The tip for remembering them is that when you find them on the score, you will need to remember the meaning, the musical meaning, and stick to it. Remember how you play the pieces and how you interpreted them. Morendo means dying, so dying away. And then also memory works, plays a big role here. Assai means like molto, so a lot, very. And retenu is the French word for retained, so held back, retained. Think also about the similarities of the note of the words. For example, if it's moderato, moderate, retenu is retained. Okay, retained. This might help. Question 2. Question 2 asks us to tick the box that shows the correct name for the given developments of ornaments. When it's two notes, it could be acciaccatura or appoggiatura. The trill is much longer and the mordent is also a tiny bit longer. In this case, because this note is really short, it's not an appoggiatura, but it's acciaccatura, where it means like tra, tra, like this, tra. Okay, so acciaccatura. This is a typical example of this, because we have the note, sorry, of this basically, the inverted version of it. Another word for that is gruppetto. That means a small group. It's the equivalent of turn, upper turn. Which basically is written here, okay, as if it's written here, and that will be written out and played sort of like this. Yeah. All right, all sorted. Next one. In this exercise, we need to circle true or false for each of the 5 statements. This relates to instruments and you would need to know something. So you would need to study the pages and know a bit about the orchestral instruments. The viola is the highest sounding string instrument. False, because the violin is the top one. The tuba can be played con sordina. Yes, you can add a thing that will block the sound and will make it a little bit more muted, yeah, muffled, so to speak. The tambourine produces sounds of indefinite pitch, and this is correct. Yes. Una corda means to use a sustaining pedal. No, una corda, I think I will make a video of that, means that you press the pedal on the far left of the piano, and it will shift the action inside so that the hammer hit one string instead of three, because corda means string, so one string basically. Okay, so this is false, and sustaining pedal is actually the other way around. It resonates the notes and it creates a nice echo, so to speak, of the notes, a nice tail of the notes. So it is exactly the opposite, more or less. The bassoon is a brass instrument. No, not so. Woodwind. So false. That's it. Sorted. Are you happy? Tell me if you're happy, and let's turn the page now. In this final section, we need to look at a piece of music that is shown on the page and answer the questions. In the first one, we need to compare these bars with the bassoon part of bar 5 and take the only correct statement. Now, I will do this here. We are in bass clef, of course, bassoon, and the note is here. Is La. Again, to answer this question, we can use the memorime. If the pitch you want to know, middle C, are you above or below? So middle C is here in treble clef, in the alto clef is here. So this is lower than the bass clef, this is higher, sorry, this is lower than middle C, this is higher than middle C, okay? And middle C in the tenor clef is here, so this is higher than middle C. These two are the same, this is an octave lower. In bass clef, middle C is here, so this is more than an octave below. All right, now let's have a look. Which one is written 2 octaves higher, basically? This 1 octave higher would be here, which is the equivalent of B. 2 octaves higher will be A and C. So only A and C are correctly written 2 octaves higher, yes. Only B, no, because this is just 1 octave higher. It would be, the note would be here, so just 1 octave. Only C, no, because these two are the same. A, B and C are all written 2 octaves higher, no, because this is high, this is low, this is higher. So the only possible right answer is the first one. There you go. Very easy when we do that, don't you think? Let me know in the comments below. Let's go on to the next page. Okie dokie, in this exercise we need to circle true or false for each of the 5 statements. The music ends on the dominant chord of A minor, and this is correct because we have all the notes of the dominant. We have Mi, we have B, we have so sharp. Perfect. With the dominant, with the leading note as well raised. So perfect. There is a mordant in bar 3 of the bassoon part, and that is a mordant, yes. So true. There are 2 ties in the bassoon part. Now the ties are these two basically. Yes, there are, because the other ones are slurs. And you can see that there is something that is similar to a tie in bar 3, the bassoon part. That is not a tie because there is a difference. It's a bit more rounded, as you can see. And the tie is more flattened. There is a visual difference. There is also it links 2 notes that are not the same, so it can't be a tie, but it is a slur. So there are only 2 ties in this part, yes. The music should be played at a medium speed. Well, not really, it's slow because it's adagio, so slow. And this symbol here means to spread the notes of the chord from the bottom, and that is correct, is arpeggiato, basically. Arpeggiato. You might recognize the noun arpeggio. That means basically this. Da, di, da, di, da, di, da. So basically we have the notes of a chord spread from the bottom to the top and then backwards if we want. So yes, that is true. Perfect, very quick. Let's move on to the next question straight away, which is to answer this question, which other instrument can play the bassoon part without struggling so it sounds at the same pitch? And the answer can only be the cello, because trumpet, oboe and viola are a tiny bit too high. The trumpet is very much higher than the bassoon, so it can't really play that. It's a bit too low. This note will be a little bit too low for the trumpet. So yes, that's it. Okay, are you happy? Are you ready for the last two questions? Let's do them. How many times does supertonic of A minor appear in the bassoon part? The answer is 4, and here they are. The supertonic is the second degree, which is in this case B. And it appears 4 times. And finally, we need to complete the two sentences by adding a number. There is a crescendo and diminuendo in bar 5. Otherwise, we have only crescendo and in bars 2 and 6, and we have only diminuendo in bars 4 and 7, 8. The rhythm and articulation in the bassoon part of bar 5 are the same as those in bar 6. It's the same. The rhythm and articulation. So the rhythm is ta, ta, ti, ta, ta, and pause. And then the articulation is legato. So la, la, li, la, la. Bar 6. And with this, we have completed the paper. I hope it was useful. Let me know if not. Subscribe to my channel, like it, and consider joining the membership as well. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye. Thank you for watching my video. I hope it was useful. Don't forget to leave a like down there and share it with your friends. If it was useful for you, it will be useful for other people too. Now, if you want more sample papers published by ABRSM, click here and find the video you're looking for. In the meantime, I would like to thank all the ones who are messaging me and leaving comments. You know that I always read them and I always reply. And thanks to all the ones who are telling me that thanks to my videos, they have improved and feel more confident. This makes me so happy. What else to say? Happy music, everyone. Bye.